Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to PFL Pokemon Fun League. It is Season 13 and it is Week 10. It is the final week of the regular season and we have one more battle for the regular season versus Mike. Now, we fought Mike, I believe it was maybe like Week 2, may have been Week 3, probably it was actually Week 3. But Mike swept us with a Golurk. That was what happened last time. And he ended up dropping Golurk in the previous weeks. Since he swept us, I think it's a bit of an insult, but especially considering who he picked up. But I will get into that. We need a team build for him. Right off the bat, let's just talk a little bit about Mike's team. He made a few trades and pickups over the course of the last few weeks. Mike has a Meganium, a Cinderace, Gardevoir, Umbreon, Golbat, Registeel, Ariados, Drampa, Keldeo, Luxray, and MAMOSWINE. Yes, you do see MAMOSWINE there. We indeed dropped MAMOSWINE a few weeks back. I believe it was Week 7, or right before Week 7 we dropped MAMOSWINE. We picked up Gliscor as well as Chestnut and Snorlax instead of a few different... Did a little bit of rearranging. Mike decided to take it upon himself to give MAMOSWINE a little bit of a second life in the league, and he picked MAMOSWINE right back up from me. And fun fact for you guys, MAMOSWINE does pretty freaking well against our team. So we're not only going to need to be prepped for Umbreon, Registeel, Cinderace, Keldeo, we're also going to need to prep for MAMOSWINE, who used to be ours. So it's a little bit of insult to injury, but not a huge deal. I think we have a pretty okay matchup versus Mike's team. I don't think our matchup is great. Notably, our best walls kind of get answered by MAMOSWINE, specifically like a Choice Band Icicle Crash. Kind of beats Chestnut as well as Gliscor. But we're just going to see. We're just going to start right off the bat here. I'm going to pop Mike's team card on the screen here. Right there so you guys can have a little bit of a reference as to what we're actually structuring against. First and foremost, as usual, it's not even a question. Tapu Lele is indeed coming. I'm going to be running Psychic. I'm going to be running Moonblast. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we need T-Bolt necessarily. I mean, Psychic and Moonblast hit pretty much everything super effectively. Shadow Ball might be really good versus Gardevoir. I am also considering a substitute set as well as a Phytinium Z. I think that is actually sort of what I landed on, so I'm actually going to put that in the calc, in the builder right now. So I'm actually just going to roll with a Phytinium Z with Focus Blast, Substitute, Moonblast, and Psychic. I think that hits everything on his team at least super effectively. I'm pretty sure it actually just hits everything, or at least neutrally effective. It hits pretty much everything super effectively in different spots except for like Luxray, Meganium, yep, that's it. Those are the only... Oh, and Gardevoir. Gardevoir, we're just going to be hit with Moonblast, though. I don't expect Gardevoir to really do much to Lele unless it wants to go for, like, a Ghostinium Z or something like that, but I don't think Mike's going to want to run anything like that. But this is what we're going to be running probably on Lele. We may come back to it, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to be it. Now it gets a little bit tricky. I know, we only put one Pokemon on the team, but... It is definitely scary here because you see Keldeo, you see Cinderace. I'd really love to have webs up, but I don't necessarily think that Masquerain does all that well versus Mike's team, notably versus Cinderace and Golbat, and honestly even versus Registeel. We're not really doing anything to any of those Pokemon. I'd really like to play kind of super high pressure offense just because Mike's team is absolutely it's disjointed. He's got a couple really good offensive threats, and he also has 3 Pokemon that are just absolute tanks in Golbat, Registeel, and Umbreon. I know for a fact I'm going to want knockoff on a bunch of Pokemon, which is leading me to want to run Gliscor, and I think actually I am going to be running Gliscor, notably, even though it kind of gets countered by MAMOSWINE. And honestly, even Keldeo a little bit. I think that knockoff support's going to be really, really clutch. If we can get rid of the leftovers on like Umbreon or Registeel, or we can get rid of a Specs or a Band, or even Eviolite on Golbat, I think that would be really, really helpful here. So first off, we're going to be running knockoff. Earthquake, definitely. probably Roost, and then probably just U-turn with a Toxic Orb. Now, he does have a bunch of things to threaten us, notably Mamoswine. Mamoswine and Keldeo, pretty much the two big threats here. He can't Toxic Poison me, and honestly, we could be running like Defog on like Blaziken or something like that. We may opt to run a Choice Scarf Blaziken to get over regular Keldeo, as well as beat Mamo in the speed tie. But Gliscor has absolutely been kind of a defensive juggernaut for us. And actually, one thing that I'd really like to check, actually, before we do anything, is I want to check if Pyroball counts as a bulletproof a move. Because if Pyroball is bulletproof, that means the Chestnut, it is. Ooh, it is. That means the Chestnut's actually taking no damage from that. I mean, Golbat comes in for absolute free on Chestnut, but Chestnut does really well versus like Registeel. And then with a Koba Berry, this is something I wanted to check as well. I'm already talking about Chestnut. Gliscor is basically done. Period. Gliscor is done. I'm going to pop Chestnut up here because with Bulletproof, and I'm going to look up Cinderace's moveset too, because if it gets Acrobatics, we might need to think about kind of what we want to do. It does get Acrobatics. He could also run Flare Blitz over Pyroball. That does a little bit of recoil to him, though. And we can run Spiky Shield to kind of check to see what he's going to do. Cinderace is also his Z Captain, I believe. So that means that he could run a Z Bulk Up set if he really wanted to. Cinderace is absolutely... It's so scary. It's so terrifying, honestly. But I think that Chestnut probably is just coming to this. I think I'm going to bring all the stops. I think I'm probably going to bring Snorlax as well. Knockoff with Blaziken. Nihilego kind of gets walled by Registeel. I'm just thinking about what 6 I want to bring. I had it all written down in my work email. But in between the time that I'm making this builder and when I wrote it down, I have left the job. All of that information as to what team I was going to be running versus Mike, that is gone. That is somewhere in my work email yonder. And now I'm going to kind of have to build from scratch. I have ideas. I'm pretty sure that Chestnut was on the team with a Koba Berry, specifically for Acrobatics, Cinderace, as well as Air Slash on Keldeo, as well as even Brave Bird. Just because Chestnut does really well versus Registeel, notably. Notably versus Registeel, it does super well. And Umbreon, actually. Umbreon, without getting a Toxic off on us, doesn't really do a ton. And I'd really like to have Spike support as well, because every little chip damage that Cinderace, Keldeo, Registeel, Umbreon, every Mamoswine, Mike's team is pretty vulnerable, I would say, to Toxic Spikes, actually. And Golbat doesn't necessarily want to come in on a Nihilego. So actually, I'm going to actually put Chestnut to the side here for 1 second. And I'm actually going to be running Nihilego here. Because I would really, really love to be able to use this thing. We don't outspeed Keldeo or Cinderace, but we have plenty of great coverage moves. We deal with Golbat pretty well. And then Mamoswine's obviously not going to want to take a... We could run Power Herb, but I almost think a Focus Sash is a little bit better. Yeah, T-Spikes is super, super good. We could run Screams Nihilego too. Don't necessarily know how that's going to go. Definitely want to run Knockoff, literally just to get rid of that Eviolite, as well as maybe catch something on a Switch. I mean, how much does Power Gem do to... I assume it's going to be a max, especially defensive Golbat, because if it's a 2-tap, okay, this is a max special defense Golbat. Power Gem is basically a 2-tap. That's with max special attack investment, and that's with him being entirely maxed out as well. So if we know we're actually not going to outspeed Cinderace or Keldeo, We can probably make our Nihiligo modest, too. If we make this thing modest... See, I don't know if I want to run this thing as a win con or as a support Pokemon. Because T-Spikes obviously plays the long game, which I enjoy. Chestnut probably comes. Honestly, maybe not even not. Maybe we just bring Snorlax and run him max physically defensive. I was also considering Magneton, like a Scarf Magneton may outspeed Keldeo. And then we can actually get off a Volt Switch on anything but Mamo. But we can also bring in Scarf Magneton. Well, unless he's Scarf Mamo, in which case we would want to have an answer to him. I think that, yeah, Scarf Mamo kind of runs through our team a little bit. Especially considering these three are all kind of weak to it. So I think actually a max defense Snorlax might be really, really good. But I think... Who was I just gonna put here? Magneton. I had Magneton on the draft here. And then who's our old... Oh, these are our only two rock centers. So we actually need to run rocks on one of them. Although we don't necessarily need rocks, though. Magnapult does indeed trap Registeel. But does that really do anything for us? If he has body... Or if he has body press, it really doesn't do much for us, honestly. Which is definitely unfortunate. Yeah, that doesn't look too great for us, honestly. I can't believe... Wait, Magneton gets Mimic? That's actually kind of hype. I mean, we could also run this thing kind of supportive as well. Like Volt Switch. Although, we could accumulate a bunch of boosts. And just kind of run through them with Charge Beam. If we come in versus Registeel, we trap him. And depending on our investment, how much we're going to take from Body Press... That's like a really dumb idea, but it also might be super cool here. Because especially defensive Registeel's hardly taking anything from like a T-Bolt. Yeah, no, it's actually not taking anything from T-Bolt. The only reason that I was actually looking at Magneton, notably, is just because a Flash Cannon as well as like a Volt Switch does pretty good versus Mike's team here. I'm not positive I want to run Magneton though. Just because, yeah, fighting Keldeo kind of bodies us. I'm almost thinking about Assault Vest Lele, too. Probably not Magneton. And then I'm also going to temporarily get rid of Snorlax. Yeah, temporarily is definitely the word here. Because he might come back. I'm actually just going to kind of toy around with different ideas here. I was also thinking about Flapple, but Flapple also kind of gets walled by Registeel and Golbat. Blaziken gets Knock, and if we're running CC, we could also run a special Blaziken. No, we would want to run it physical because of all of his probably special defensive checks. Because I'd want to have as many knockoffs as possible, and that would actually free up a slot on Nihiligo, which would be kind of ideal. The only reason that I haven't put Shark on the team just yet is because Keldeo. But if we have a boost up, Scarf Keldeo is still outspeeding Sharpedo. Is kind of the problem. I mean, then we could run Protect, definitely. Psychic Fangs also does pretty good. Psychic Fangs actually might kill Keldeo if we have +2 up. And it also does good against Golbat, but we're not exactly going to be taking a bunch of hits from Golbat either. All right, actually, you know what? Let's put Shark on the team. Let's put Shark on the team just for BM right now. Protect, definitely change this to Speed Boost. Psychic Fangs, Liquidation, and then honestly maybe like Flip Turn. CC hits Drampa. Taunt prevents him from roosting. Flip Turn lets us flip out a Meganium. If Meganium even comes, which versus Nihiligo and Gliscor, that's kind of bold. Destiny Bond's also like high key hype. Mamo could go down to an Aqua Jet as well. Sharpedo does get Earthquake. Earthquake hits Registeel, Luxray, and Cinderace all super effectively. Close combat hits Registeel, Drampa, Umbreon though. So this might be the move. These 3 coverage moves could do it. Because then if he tries a Sucker Punch versus as Cinderace, and he turns into a Dark type, we can click Close Combat and be totally fine. Again, unless he's Scarf Cinderace. But Gliscor does really, really well versus pretty much all variants of Cinderace except for the Z Bulk Up with a Flare Blitz. That's why I'm probably going to be running it probably defensive. I'd like a little bit of recovery. I really think Chestnut does just trash here. I think I'd almost 100% of the time run a Scarf Blaziken. Although we ran a Jetpack last week, and that actually worked out super, super well for us. And actually, we could slam... we can slam a CC versus everything except for Guard and Golbat and Ariados. Those are all quad resists here. But we also get U-Turn. We could literally run a Scarf U-Turn. And then if he happens to reveal the fact that he's Scarfed on something else, then we just learn that information and can play around it at that point. I think Scarf Blaziken's kind of a play. Agility Blaziken is also dummy sick, assuming Golbat's out of the way. Because then we could run Brave Bird, Flare Blitz, Close Combat. No. I mean, yeah, it would have to be like Brave Bird, Flare Blitz, Close Combat. Because he doesn't get like Drain Punch or anything like that. But I really want to run Knock on Blaziken here. Chestnut's really terrible into this match. But Chestnut's kind of been a really good glue Pokemon for us. Especially with Spike support. But like, I look at Gardevoir, Golbat, Cinderace, Keldeo, Mamoswine. And I just think, how am I going to get away with running Chestnut without having him blow up my team or set up with like Calm Mind Keldeo or bulk up Cinderace? I feel like there's a lot of bad things that can happen by being as passive with Chestnut as I think we have been. Who else do we have? Komala? Magneton. Komala is interesting because of hazard removal. Komala also gets knockoff. And then, yeah, but Komala doesn't do super hot versus anything else. Actually, Komala doesn't get Drain Punch either, does he? I'm not making that up. He doesn't get Drain Punch, right? No, he doesn't. Okay, all right. That's fine. I mean, after a few Rapid Spins, we're cooking with fire. But we actually don't really do too well. Komala's not it, I don't think. I don't think it's it this week. I want hazard removal, but I don't think it's Komala. But then it has to be Gliscor or Blaziken, because those are our only hazard removal. Again, support Blaziken's a real thing. Could absolutely run it, like Will-O-Wisp, Defog, U-Turn. But it's like so dumb. It's like so dumb. Because Golbat's fast. I mean, he's not going to run a speed-invested Golbat, though. That's the thing. We could also run an AV on Blaziken. Can we catch Keldeo sleeping? Let's say he's a Scarf. Let's say he's a Scarf Keldeo. Can we catch Keldeo sleeping with an Assault Vest? We can. Okay, actually we can. Scald does not kill us. It has a chance to kill after rocks damage, but this is without any investment. So we could actually run an AV Blaziken. That actually sounds really good. Because it lets us run U-Turn and Knock. And I do want to run max speed. Because Gardevoir is base 80. Actually, Gardevoir, we could probably catch Gardevoir sleeping then too, right? Because all that means... Oh, Psyshock does it, but that's assuming he's going to run Psyshock. Is Assault Vest Blaziken, like... Is it smart? Is that a smart thing to do, guys? Is Assault Vest Blaziken a smart play? I don't think so. I don't think it is. But it's so hype. But it's actually dummy hype. Like, if we were going to run Assault Vest, right? Well, then we wouldn't have Defog. But if we were going to run Assault Vest, we would run U-Turn, Knock, And then we probably run it physical. Blaze Kick has a high crit rate. And it doesn't have any... And it doesn't have any recoil, which is pretty nice. I will say that is definitely nice. We absolutely would need to run this thing max speed then. Because, like, what's coming in and eating a Flare Blitz? Although, I mean, Keldeo comes in, eats the Flare Blitz, and then we take recoil, and then he's able to scald us. So, how much does a Golbat Brave Bird do to us? Because I will invest. I'll invest to be able to live. Oh my god, wait, Brave Bird actually kills us, dude? Come on. Come on. Quit that. Cut it out. We would need to run max HP for Brave Bird not to kill us. And then is that worth a knockoff, though? No, because then we get outsped next turn. But I mean, Gliscor comes in for free on Golbat. Alright, well, we know we're giving you the Sharpie tonight. Good start. Good start. Good start. I don't know, man. A Scarf beats like a Scarf Guard. I think it's just probably Choice Scarf, right? Probably just knock you turn, Flare Blitz, and close combat. I think a Scarf Blaziken actually just does really, really well. I'm gonna obviously give him 252 speed. The only thing we don't do well against is another Scarf Pokemon. Like if it's a Scarf Cinderace or a Scarf Keldeo, which again, Scarf Keldeo we have issues with for sure. Keldeo does insane against our team. Keldeo is actually like a giant threat. And I'm gonna like look at, honestly, like right now we're 5-3. We don't need to win this battle, but obviously I'd like to. It would guarantee me the top of the division, and I'd really like to be in the top 5 seeds so that I don't need to play for a wild card slot. Because that would be really annoying to have to do. Snorlax would do great, but the problem with Snorlax is that Keldeo has Secret Sword. We could run Chople Berry. Honestly, a Chople Snorlax might just be like it. That might have to be our like answer for this thing. Do we get anything to hit? We get like T-Punch. We probably get Zen Headbutt, right? Yeah, we do. And Chople also lets us deal with Mamo. This is just kind of a blanket Mamoswine check as well. I mean, again, we could run counter. We ran counter that one week and it was in the thumbnail, and we didn't end up actually clicking it, which is kind of a shame. But it's definitely something we could do. Our team is like super weird. I want everything. I want hazards, I want removal, but I just don't. I mean, U-turn generates us momentum. And I feel it's almost like entirely necessary on Gliscor. And Earthquake does to Cinderace, Registeel. Yeah, we need Earthquake for Registeel. But if he gets up an Iron Defense, what's stopping him from body pressing our whole team? I mean, Lele for starters, but and the Fightinium Z Focus Blast probably does a ton. At least 75%, I would imagine. Yeah, because Registeel walls Nihilego. Could run T-Wave Nihilego. Snorlax doesn't get T-Wave, I don't believe. I'm like a little lost here. I don't know if Corrosive Gas works on a Z Crystal or a Mega Stone. I feel like it doesn't. But it'd be awesome if it did. Well, Nihilego could also be a designated lead as well. We can get like a T-Wave off on something, which actually might be more beneficial than T-Spikes. Nihiligo's a really good... Because then like what? Like if Registeel leads, we would need enough investment to kill Registeel with Gliscor, which I don't think is really going to be a thing. I'm just figuring out how much I would like to put into Gliscor's attack stat to be able to deal with Registeel. Well, the good thing about Chestnut is that he beats Registeel one-on-one, I think. And that's sort of the only reason that I would consider running Chestnut over something like Snorlax. Because we could run a Koba Berry Chestnut. Because how much does a Keldio's Air Slash? Because then we just go free into Gliscor every single time something that threatens us comes in. Because, yeah, we sort of need Chestnut for Registeel. And hopefully Mike forgets about the Pyro Ball thing. Is this the same team that came to... What was it, Dan? No, it wasn't Dan. It was Murphy. Is this the same team? Is this the same 6? I think it is. I think this is the same. I don't think we brought Snorlax last week either. Not that I'm ruling him out entirely this week, but... You know, Super Fang is also, like... That's Mike tech. That's, like, something that Mike loves is Super Fang. And he may opt to run it. But Koba Berry lets us deal with Golbat, Acrobatics on Cinderace, and Air Slash on Keldeo. Yeah, it just lets... It's such a good Registeel answer that I'm hard-pressed to not bring it. A Nihilego does really good. I mean, just the T-Spikes is, like, super, super nice. Because, like, Golbat would need to come in versus Nihilego to remove them. Then I almost think that we need to run Nihilego Power Meteor Beam with the speed boosting set. Because, okay, let's say we're at +1, right? You're Mamoswine. Pretend you're banded. Ice Shard does a lot. Meteor Beam kills Mamoswine. Oh, we could run Grass Knot. Grass Knot would kill Mamo. Because then Dazzling Gleam does good versus Umbreon. If we're at +1, assuming he's not Scarfed. He might bring a Scarf Keldeo, and if he does, then Keldeo rips us apart. But we're probably going to not be running any speed on Lele. We're probably just going to be running bulk. Probably just a bulky attacker, honestly. And honestly, maybe we could even run Leftovers instead of Fightinium. I love Fightinium, but I think Leftovers are actually maybe a little better. Especially if we're behind a sub. Sub, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss. No, because then we have to forfeit Focus Blast, and we can't forfeit Focus Blast. I almost prefer lead Nihilego over, like, setup Sweeper. Because depending on who he sends, he could just send in Registeel, and it could just be an issue. But even if we get... I mean, a T-Wave doesn't help versus Registeel. But like versus Cinderace or Keldeo, it could be just absolutely massive. Although Knock could be huge too. Stealth Rock, T-Wave, Knock, and T-Spikes. That kind of covers all of our bases depending on what he brings, right? And what he leads with, notably. If he leads with Registeel, we just go for T-Spikes. Then he sends in Golbat, he has to take a knockoff next turn. Because Gliscor sits on Registeel after we live for the Sash. But then we opt to run no damaging moves, really. And that's kind of an issue. That's actually a huge issue. Keldeo? If we run this thing, like, invested, Keldeo probably doesn't KO it. We could maybe D-Gleam or T-Bolt, actually. T-Bolt would... Ooh, T-Bolt hits Golbat, too. Okay, well, hold on. Depending on investment. Keldeo. And you are Nihilego. Secret Sword. 70 to 82. T-Bolt hits everything neutrally, too. Man, dude, Mike's team just gives me some type of anxiety. I mean, screens are hilarious, but we brought screens week 1 versus Mike, and or not week 1, but the first time we fought Mike, and it kind of didn't work out for us, so. Yeah, no, Mamo absolutely kind of obliterates us. If it's Scarfed. If it's banded, we can kind of deal with it. I just really want an answer to Mamoswine. Like, I just really badly want an answer to Mamoswine. We don't really have one. Like at all. Our team actually kind of gets walloped by MAMOSWINE. Shouldn't have dropped you. I'm sorry. I apologize, MAMOSWINE. I really do. I mean, Snorlax exists. Snorlax could be thick fat. Defensive Snorlax with thick fat kinda does okay. Especially with Body Slam. We could para something maybe. Curslax also does some things. It's not great, but it does some things. If you have Knock... If we run Rocks on Gliscor... No, we need Knock. Okay, maybe Nihilego is coming. Shark is just good for Mamo, because we can guarantee get a Protect, Speed Boost, and then Liquidation it. Shark's too good offensive pressure, I think. This is for Registeel. Blaziken's also for Registeel, but I feel like Blaziken won't be able to break this thing. Could also run Eject Back like we did last week, but I feel like that won't really come in handy. Is it just Drain Punch Woodhammer? Probably, right? Is there any rolls of a Keldeo with... Maybe I can invest it in a way that will live in Air Slash with not. With Max Spadef and a positive Spadef nature. Air Slash won't kill us. Because then we can run lefties instead. Because we're just going to switch into Gliscor. Yeah, if we run you 252, 252, positive, negative, 4 into attack. Drain Punch, Spiky Shield, Woodhammer is for Keldeo. That gives us a one-time hit on Keldeo. We can also scalp for maybe a Z Air Slash. Although we really want to be running Woodhammer over Seed Bomb. I feel like Seed Bomb doesn't kill. We need to run Woodhammer. Okay, bottom line, we're going to run Woodhammer. That's kind of okay. If we had something for Golbat that we could maybe catch a switch with, that'd be great. I mean, Leech Seed's always solid. Synthesis is, like, really, really good. Over Spike, Synthesis might be better. Because then that keeps him healthy for what? Cinderace? But Cinderace is kind of an insane check here. Because let's say he forgets about... Well, Flare Blitz actually doesn't kill us with max attack. Does a bunch of recoil, and we can Drain Punch to get most of it back. Especially if we Spiky Shield the first time. Yeah, Leech Seed's solid. Super Fang catches Golbat on a switch, too. And then it kind of forced him to roost. That is absolutely some Mike tech, and I think I'm going to roll with it. Because, like, okay, let's say we're in versus, like, Registeel. Then he's not going to want to stay in. He's going to want to go to Golbat. If we Super Fang versus a full health Registeel instead of Drain Punch, we get Golbat down to half. And then we have to... Then we can double out into, like, Gliscor or even Nihilego. Yeah, even if Mamo comes in. Actually, you know what? With max HP... MAMOSWINE? How much is MAMOSWINE doing here? Icicle Crash does kill. That's only if he's banded and adamant. Choice Scarf, Icicle Crash does not kill us. Drain Punch does half. Woodhammer will kill him back. And we have leftovers. That means we can Spiky Shield. Okay, I think actually Chestnut is the play. Lele, we're probably just gonna be running max 8 or max max whatever. I know that wasn't English, but max HP, max special attack with sub up. Honestly, Moonblast is great, but Draining Kiss could be better. Draining Kiss gives us a little bit of passive recovery too. And realistically, we're only gonna be clicking. I don't know how long I've been recording either. This actually has been taking an insanely long amount of time. It gives us passive recovery, lets us hit a bunch of things. With max special attack too, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, so it's probably just the Lele set. This is like totally all types of whack here. I definitely don't need that much attack. Dude, Glycor is so bizarre. Okay, 252. We want to be able to outspeed... I mean, okay, hold on. We want to be able to outspeed, like, Gardevoir, right? I mean, how much does Gardevoir get up to? Gardevoir gets up to 145, so that means 146, like that. I don't know what this spread is about. I don't know why this is the, like, suggested spread. I mean, I like it, don't get me wrong, but I don't really understand it. Knock off U-turn, protect, yup. Scarf you, yup. Leftovers you, yup. Nihilego. Focus Sash, probably. Probably guaranteed leading this thing. That means we just need a lead. That means we just need Focus Sash, Rocks. Oh, we could run Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam would be great. T-Wave won't work versus Mamo, and it won't be good versus really anything else. I'm highly considering screens on this Nihilego. He kind of got past us last time, but he can't Sucker Punch if we're behind like a Reflect. We have no removal either, which shouldn't be an issue, actually. We have two... I mean, we have a few rock resists. Like, we'll be okay. T-Spikes, Stealth Rock, Gem, Bomb. I really don't know. I want to... Nihilego's definitely coming at this point. It's definitely these 6. I'm just kind of thinking about what the most important pieces are. Like, do we need rocks? Do we need Toxic Spikes? Do we need T-Wave? Do we need Knockoff? Do we need all of them? Do we need offensive presence? Would a power Meteor Beam... If we popped it, it'd be a waste of time on Registeel. Or, honestly, even like Keldeo. So we're not going to run Meteor Beam. We're not going to run Power. Probably just Focus Sash. Could not run Rocks and instead run Knock. And just go for the Focus Sash. Do we need Bomb over something else? Like, D-Gleam would be phenomenal. Like, what do we need to check? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does Nihilego stop? I mean, Grass Knot does it for Mamo. And if he leads Mamo, Grass Knot, especially if he leads Mamo, Grass Knot actually, like, does a lot. How much does Grass Knot do to Keldeo? Actually, hold on. Nihilego. Let's pretend you're Grass Knot, okay? Let's just pretend here. Grass Knot guarantee kills MAMOSWINE. With max investments. We don't even need to run. Probably though, I'm going to do the 176, 252 positive thing. We can also invest some of that in bulk. Because we just need to be able to outspeed, again, Gardevoir. Well, Golbat. Well, yeah, outspeed Golbat, quite frankly. Well, no, he's not going to be running speed on Golbat. Also, Golbat can't touch us, so... How much does Grass Knot do to Keldeo? With max special attack, it is 25% chance to 2-hit KO. I'd like to be able to knock off turn 1 or Power Gem turn 1. And if we Grass Knot against like Mamo or something and Keldeo comes in or Registeel comes in, I don't want to reveal it though. It's like a super bizarre... There's a sweet spot here that I just haven't found yet. Because this is like our #1 Golbat answer. If he T-Waves us, it's okay, because we're going to have a Focus Sash anyway. We just get Toxic Spikes up. I think Nihilego's like the perfect lead. It might be like entirely useless, but depending on how we play everybody else... Oh, we need to figure out Gliscor's investment. At 146, it just outspeeds positive base 80s like Gardevoir and MAMOSWINE. And if MAMOSWINE is Scarfed, then we live an Earthquake. We Grass Knot and it dies. If it's Banded, we live an Earthquake. We Grass Knot and it dies. If it goes for Rocks, we Grass Knot and it dies. If it's Focus Sash, we Grass Knot and it dies. So, alright. The contingency plan, definitely. Especially considering he's probably going to be going for Defog. We don't have any removal, but I also don't think rocks are that big of a deal versus our team. We have a U-turn. We have 2 U-turners. Bulky, protect, support. Yeah, okay. I think we're actually kind of okay. I definitely will nickname all of them a little bit later. I'm a little bit nervous for this battle. I don't know exactly how crazy it's going to be, but I like our team. MAMOSWINE could get out of hand, as well as maybe like a Calm Mind Keldeo could get out of hand. But I think that we're actually going to be just fine, assuming we play our cards right. So, that being said, guys, let's just get over right to the battle window. Okay, so here we are in the battle window. Right before the battle, I actually changed up the investment on Gliscor, and I also changed out Flare Blitz for Defog because I realized that if he got up webs with our current team, we would be in a very, very bad spot. He does have access to Ariados, and I didn't exactly think that that was something we wanted to kind of mess with in this battle. He brought the MAMOSWINE, Registeel, Golbat, Cinderace, Umbreon, and Keldeo. He obviously brought all three walls that we were nervous about, as well as all 3 wall breakers that we were nervous about. So let's actually see right off the bat. I'm not exactly sure who we're going to go for. I thought I was going to lead Nihiligo. I still may opt to do that. It looks like 4 of his Pokemon get affected by the Toxic Spike, so I think that was a pretty good bring here. And I'm just going to give him a little GLHF. And we're going to see exactly who we think we should lead. I mean, we have the Focus Sash. If he leads with Mammo's his only Rock Setter, too. We could actually just Grass Knot, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go for Nihiligo. Because actually, no, Registeel is also a Rock Setter, too. He does indeed send in Cinderace, which is actually, like, kind of fine. We should start the timer here. And I'm actually going to here. If he goes for something silly, he could go for U-turn. I mean, an HJK also kind of stinks. He might be scared of like a rock type move, though. We are sashed. But I really don't want to blow Nihiligo this early. I mean, Gliscor just comes through 100% of the time, right? Because he might just immediately think, oh, I need to go into Registeel. I want to take this Meteor Beam. Or what if Nihiligo is Scarfed? And that actually gives us an opportunity to come in with Gliscor here. Please, he did U-turn. That actually gives us a pop of the Toxicor, which is definitely very nice. And Keldeo probably comes through. This is going to be a problem. I think through the entirety of the battle is going to be this Keldeo. It's actually Mamo. It's actually Mamo. And, I mean, quite honestly, I expect an Ice move. And if he is Scarfed, he would Scarf Icicle Crash, right? But if he EQs, we're going to have an issue. This is not the position that I wanted to be in, quite frankly. It's too early to let Gliscor go down entirely. He's probably going to go for an Ice-type attack. Ideally, if he does, I'm going to go into Cinderace. This could pan out really, really badly. Oh, please don't go for EQ. He did go for the Icicle Crash. Okay, 36 is great. I expect him to be Scarfed. Now, he's probably going to go right into Golbat. Unless... Well, yeah, he's going to have to go into Golbat. Get that Eviolite out of here, bro. Get it out of here. Get it absolutely the heck up on out of here. I'm going right back into... I could go into Nihiligo. I mean, Lele does fantastic here as well. I'm probably going to go right into... Yeah, I'm going to go right into Gliscor, because literally anything that he wants to do... Jesus. Now, we could play the shell game. We could absolutely play the shell game here. And expect... I'm going to tell him my own mans. Mamo. I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe we have to face this thing down. Imagine he goes... I feel like he has to click Icicle Crash, right? Like, that's the safest thing. If he goes for an EQ, he might be big brain. Please don't. Oh, he missed. That's what it feels like. That's my man's. That's absolutely my man's. Golbat, that's fine. We U-turn. Everything's solid. Nihilego has an opportunity to come through here. I think that I'd rather just go Lele. I don't think this thing is max speed. I'm going to go for the sub here. Yeah, it's all good. All good. No issues. I want to try to land a Focus Blast. We did. Chopple, absolutely fine. Heavy Slam, not a big deal. He might try to go for it again. Is he going to think I'm going to miss, though? I could. If I sub again, I'm going to sub again. I'm glad we actually hit the Focus Blast, and I'm glad the Chopple popped. He actually does opt to go for rocks here, which is kind of fine by me. He knows we're good to go for Focus Blast now. I don't know what I should do. Is he going to go into Golbat? Should I send it? This is the question. Should I send it? Should we send it? Realistically, like, do we? If Golbat comes through, we could just Psychic, right? Oh, he stayed in. He stayed in. Registeel's gone. Oh, no! Oh, come on, man. That's a max Spadef Registeel 100,000,000% of the time. I don't even need to go for anything crazy. Heavy Slam's like mad annoying. Yeah, I'd rather just go for the Psychic and call it. Do we need Lele for anything else now that Registeel's out of the way? Or do we just kind of sack Lele off? Honestly, we're not even playing for plus at this point. We're mostly just playing for a dub. If he sends in Mamo, we know it's scarfed. And I'm actually willing to take that. He does send in Mamo. He does absolutely send in MAMOSWINE. Okay. He could go for EQ. He did get a Rocks, too. So actually, Blaziken, a Defog would be nice. God dang it, man. Yeah, we outspeed Scarf Mamo if we get a Protect off here. I think it might be time to just let Lele go down. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. That's alright. It's not a huge deal. Yeah, if it's a Scarf Mamo, I'm going to Protect. He might. Well, yeah, he's just going to go for damage. He's just trying to get the Icicle Crash off here. We're going to get to +2. Golbat comes through, Liquidation, 43, and a defense drop. That's super, super nice here. Now we're at ×2, actually. Yeah, Sharpedo is just going to kind of do it right now. I'm going to keep going for speed boosts. If Cinderace comes through, it's probably going to sucker. It's Keldeo, actually. So I'm going to Mega. And I'm hoping that Psychic Fangs actually kills. Sharpedo is... This is Bruce. This is Keldeo. Psychic Fangs does not kill, actually. Do we save this thing? Do we save, or do we just go for the chip damage? I sort of feel like we might need to save it. Because it's going to go for what, a fighting type move? mean, Psychic's going to do a lot, right? We can protect and scout what he does. I think I'm just going to go for it. Oh, he did die! Yo, what did I miss? Yo, what did I miss? Bro. Oh, that's regular shark. Oh, that's so hype, actually. Liquidation? Yup. Did this man's just get swept? Is he gonna sucker here? Oh no, he didn't! Oh no! Ah! Okay, wait. I thought he was gonna sucker almost positively. He just kind of sent it here. I'm gonna protect. Sucker? Oh, he did go for the HJK. Ah! Hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. I could play for plus. There's absolutely no reason to. There's no reason to. Foul play. Absolutely fine. And then we get Blaziken to come in and finish it off. You know, that was very interesting. I don't know if he necessarily expected Sharpedo to pop off like that. I'm actually really glad that we brought Sharpedo now, because quite frankly, like, I was expecting not to bring Sharpedo at all. I didn't think that Sharpedo was actually, like, super great. Was Blaze Scarf? Yerp. Yerp. He asked if Blaze was Scarf. Blaze was indeed Scarf. Get around that MAMOSWINE, get around that Gardevoir, maybe. I knew pretty much from the get-go that MAMOSWINE was Scarfed, and I'm actually very happy that we got rid of the Eviolite on Golbat that early, as well as close combating, or Z-Fightinium, the Registeel. Definitely nice. Really good stuff to Mike. I mean, he brought the 6 Pokemon that I thought he was going to bring. I'm glad we didn't end up having to click like Defog or anything like that. Then there was no really need to play for plus. We actually put ourselves in a really good scenario with Sharpedo, and that actually shows the perks of Sharpedo. If we clicked Liquidation instead of Close Combat, I expected him to sucker. So I'm surprised he actually didn't. But what are you going to do? That is indeed a +4. That guarantees us a spot at the top of our division. We are now 6-3 plus 23. And that is super awesome. Lele got a kill. So we'll see if she ends up being the king of the kill. I hope so. Most of this video was building. I know. Sometimes these PFL videos can get a little bit long. But if you guys enjoy the content, you already know what to do. I'm going to get out of here. I have to go commentate this broadcast now. So, till next time.